Hey guys, what's good? Mike here, Lakers Talk. So Lakers lose to the Bulls last night, 118-110. What are my thoughts on this game? I'm actually out of town right now. Didn't catch the game live yesterday. Caught the game on replay on NBA League Pass. And I honestly, not watching the game, I wasn't able to live tweet or see the game or really get amped for the game. I didn't expect much from this game. I didn't know if D'Angelo Russell was going to play, if he was going to play, if he was going to have a bad knee. And to be honest with you, I expected D'Angelo to have an inconsistent game. He always has these good games, and he comes back and doesn't show up. So just like I thought, he wasn't a factor in this game. Not only D'Angelo Russell wasn't a factor, Julius Randle wasn't a factor, Jordan Clarkson had a bad night. Our starters in general had a bad night. But my thoughts on this game was, I didn't expect much because the Bulls actually are a good team. I thought the Bulls might step up. They lost last night. They're going to want to win. Again, I didn't know if D Wade was going to play or not, but when Dwayne Wade is playing and they're clicking, the Bulls are actually much better than the Lakers. They're a really good squad. So I thought it's going to be a tough game. A lot of people see on paper the Bulls, we should win at home, and we actually had a shot. But we lost the game. But when I caught the replay, I was surprised that we still had a chance to put them away. We were up by like 10 or so. Again, our starters wasn't giving us much, but Lou Williams and Larry Nance Jr. had one of their best games off the bench for us. It's definitely in the first half. We were up by like 10 at some point, and we just couldn't get over the hump. What I mean by that is there is a chance if we had gone up by 15 points on the Bulls in the first half or so, or even in the first half before they came back and tied it, we would have kind of put them over the edge, I believe, to kind of like make them quit, right? They're on the road, they want to go home or whatever, they're on the second game of a back-to-back, but we just couldn't do it. And Jimmy Butler just went off and played really well. But our defense, our defensive effort and our understanding of how to really play defense as a team is just not there. We've been saying that for the last several years, and I don't know how that's going to come about. Definitely from somebody was on Twitter tweeting me about, Mike, you got to realize this is a young team. You're going to have inconsistency and all that stuff. And I'm like, I guess that's the truth, right? That's what you're going to have. But if we don't know how to play defense, and if we don't know how to get stops, definitely, yeah, you can't expect tight defense from a young team. A bunch of guys under 23-year-olds, 23-year-olds or something like that. But you got to start preaching it. You got to start teaching it every day. You got to start believing in it. You got to start pushing guys to start playing freaking defense. We can't stop anybody. We're giving up 115 plus points a game. We're going to lose a lot of games. That's just period. And we had our chance to kind of put the Bulls away. We couldn't, right? They got back in the game. They started to play, Jimmy Butler was getting in the groove, and overall, they played pretty good defense for the most part, and made enough big plays. Jimmy Butler is an all-star and really balled up and took the lead, and we couldn't get the game back. But our starters, what I don't like is I can't take the inconsistency, and I know everyone's telling me on Twitter, chill, young team, this is what you're going to get from a bunch of rookies and second-year players, whatever. It just kills me that our starters are very inconsistent, starting with D'Angelo Russell. One night he goes out for 30 points. The next night he's non-existent. One night, Julius Randle, in my opinion, didn't really show up at all. He was like, he had a quiet game. Like, where was he all game? Right? Mozgov is inconsistent. Like, if our guys aren't clicking, they're giving him bad passes, he's going to be off. Luol Deng, and Nick Young is doing his thing. When he gets a shot, he's going to take it. But outside of that, our second group comes in, and our second group does well. Did really well. Now, Jordan Clarkson was off, had an off night, but Lou Williams and Larry Nance Jr. picked up the slack off our bench. That's enough for your bench. The way they were scoring and what they were doing off the bench, that's enough to give your, to have something like that off your bench. What happened is we just didn't get anything from our starters. I don't know what the stats were, but D'Angelo Russell didn't have much, 7 points, whatever. Julius Randle, I think he had like 14 points, but most of that was at the very end. Didn't I mean, they weren't really involved in the first 3 quarters, in my opinion. Just wasn't clicking a lot. I don't know, just one of those games where, on paper, though I thought we might lose this game because of the Bulls, it's on paper, you'd be like, man, if we played well, you know, Dwayne Wade wasn't there, we could have had this game. We could have probably had this game at home. It was one of those games where the Bulls, on the second of a back-to-back, we could have squeaked by them, you know, and so it was tough to see. Not making any hasty decisions. It's just one of those games where, as a fan, you're just kind of frustrated and go, we lost another one, you know, and play overall was inconsistent, and defense was just non-existent, you know, and so we just got to chalk it up, move on. We play OKC tomorrow at home again. Now that's a tough one too, and then we go on the road to play Golden State, and then we come back to play Golden State at home, and then we play the Atlanta Hawks, and then we play the Pelicans. So tough stretch coming up. Young team, inconsistent. We're 7-7 right now. You know, it's not surprising, but when you watch the game, you just see things and you're like, man, we need to improve on these areas. So that's my thoughts on the game. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing. As always, follow me on Twitter at Mike Sports LA. Catch me in the next video blog after we play OKC. Holla at me. We talk soon. Peace.